This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Today we're dealing with the Subzero 501R built-in refrigerator, and it's not getting cold, so we're going to test a couple of things, and the suspicion is it may be the cold control. So we have to remove a couple of panels, and then we can get to the cold control that lives behind that big panel we were just looking at. Here's the model number on the machine we looked at. We either have to unplug it or turn off the breaker because we got to make sure the power is off. And pulled off the little knob that's on the temperature control. And then this whole big panel is going to just lean over toward us at about 45 degrees. We've already removed the fan panels that were above it. Here's our cold control living behind that panel. And it has 3 wires connected to it and then 2 temperature probes. So we're going to just be disconnecting all this stuff. Pull these wires off. And the green one's a ground wire, and then it has a neutral and a power wire coming to it. So you just want to, these are spade connectors, just pull them right off. Here's the new one. These are the new bulbs. So get the wires off. We took the little nuts off of the old cold control. They just spin off. I used some pliers to loosen them. Just spin them off by hand. And we lift that old one off. Now we can take the whole panel and lift it out of the way. Just comes right out towards you. So you tilt it about 45 degrees and just pull it right out towards you. So got that out of the way, and now we're going to take the bulbs out. They run down in front of the evaporator, and they're just in a little channel, and you just pull them out of the channel. Pretty easy. One of them has a big bulb connected to it, and the other one doesn't. And they're just in 2 different channels next to each other. Here's the one with the bulb, and we're just going to pull it out of a little plastic housing. Pull it out to your right. Comes right out. And now we'll take the new one, put the new bulb into the housing, and then we're going to take this part and put it into the groove in the evaporator. Just push it in. And we're going to take the other probe and push that into the evaporator to the left. So just kind of pushing them in between these fins. Those are the 2 probes now are in position. We put the wires onto the cold control, on the new cold control. And then we're going to be connecting that back to the panel. So we took the panel, put it back into position, and it has a little pins that it goes into at the lower right and lower left-hand corner of the panel. We've got the new cold control in position. We got the wires on. We're going to put the little nuts back on. We fed the post of the cold control in through the blue dial, and then that penetrates the panel and comes out the front of the panel, and then these little nuts will hold the cold control in place. We're going to use just some pliers to tighten these up. Just a couple little quarter turns, and then we just have to lean the panel back into position. Just lean it back toward the back of the fridge. And then we have to put in the little fan panel to hold it in, and then we're pretty much done. So we push the big panel back into position, and just holds up there, but the fan panel at the top is what really keeps it locked in. That's the first thing you remove when you want to remove the back panel. The little knob back on there. We're going to set it for 4. So putting the fan panel back up there, putting in those screws, the 3 Phillips head screws to hold it. And then this panel covers that, covers the fan blades. There's a little pin, plastic pin, and then the sheet metal has 2 holes in it, so the pins go into the holes, and then we push the panel up flat, and we have 2 Phillips head screws that come in on the horizontal plane to hold them in. There's one there on the right, one on the left. So this again is the 501R. Here's the part number for the cold control. We're going to put the lens back in over the lights. So put the front part in first, and then we have to kind of push and bend the back parts to clip in. So other things that can make the refrigerator not cool, but the cold control is a very common problem. It stops working. Sometimes also it'll stay in the cold, it'll stay too cold, and that can be fixed by replacing it. So thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe.